Okay.
All right. We'll call the special meeting of the Granite City Community Unit School District number 9 on December 22nd, 2021 to order. Roll call, please.
Stacy?
Here.
Vinny?
Here.
Knogle?
Here.
Curran?
Here.
None here. McMasters?
Here.
And Wilmsmeyer.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Excellent. Thank you, Zach. Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for that. All right, a couple of items on the agenda. First up, Stephanie, I think we have employment of the Grigsby Intermediate Assistant Principal.
Yes, we do. Mr. President of the Board, I have given you all information on an email about the candidate that we have chosen. Interview committee consisted of Kristen Navachis Caberna, David Keel, Steve Mathis, Mickey Watkins, and myself. Did I forget anybody? No. For that interview process. Oh, and Jody Batson. So we chose. The interview committee is recommending from that Ms. Shana McClendon as the assistant principal at Grigsby Intermediate.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and any discussion? And if there's considerable discussion here, we can certainly take it into executive session later.
Who was the second on that? I didn't catch it.
Erica was.
Okay, thank you.
She's quick.
And part of that motion
Oh, wait.
is that she will be hired at category 7, step 1 of the new, is that correct? Of the administrative salary.
And the new
schedule.
administrative salary schedule, yes. Step 7.
Thank you, Tom.
I think what you say.
Any discussion?
No.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please, then. Zach?
Vinny?
Aye.
Knogle?
Aye.
Curran?
Aye.
None I. McMasters?
Aye.
Stacy?
Aye.
Wilmsmeyer.
Aye. Item number 4, employment of the athletic trainer for the high school and junior high school.
Right, Mr. President and the board, I also sent some more clarification on this as well about the certified portion of this and how TRS works with that. Mr. Parker prepared an excellent explanation of that. I hope everyone received that. If you have any questions, we can speak to that in executive session. The interview committee, consisting of Darren Depew, Tim Moran, and John Mode, is recommending Andrea Kowalski for the athletic trainer position.
And again, salary,
Including
step 1.
step 1 and beginning on January 3rd.
So moved.
I think that was Eric.
I think so too.
Second.
Bill second.
Have a motion and a second. What category was that?
It's step 1 of the salary schedule. I think the trainer has got his own category.
Yeah, they have their own own administrative or salary schedule for the trainer because they're not certified in the sense of the word as a certified public educator, a CPE, or an example is we have nurses, certified nurses that are actually school nurses are on that, but other ones are not. It's a TRS explanation which I sent to you on how that works.
Yes.
So they have their own scale separate from
That is correct.
anyone else.
That is correct.
Correct.
That started
That is
15 years
correct.
ago.
In 2010, the Board of Education put together a salary schedule separate for the athletic trainer. So it'd be step 1 on that salary schedule.
Okay.
Okay, I had a question, but maybe you should go to executive on that. I mean, I don't have anything long. I just,
Tom, what do you think?
Is it about a specific individual or just a general
No.
question about the trainer?
No.
'Cause
Okay, good.
general.
If it's general, we
Okay,
can talk
sure.
about it.
Okay, I think there was some concern about that position that it may be so low that we're gonna have a rotating door of trainers. So we only have one. We've got a lot of sports to deal with, and it's only going to attract people, right out of school or anything like, who may be here for a few years and leave.
Well, Chris Mitchell, our communications director, has had a lot of experience in that. We looked at the average salary for a certified trainer right out of school, and this is very comparable. Even sort of in the next 5 years with our raises, it isn't low for a starting amount, is what we were told. Jim, you want to answer to that a little bit?
I think you just about summed it up. Step one on this salary schedule for a bachelor's is $47,190, and then it goes all the way to a master's $190, $49,830, and it is basically a salary schedule that was built off of the teacher's salary schedule conceptually, with steps for each year of experience as they progress through them, just like the teacher's salary schedule does, for years progressing as well as for educational advancements.
So Jim, just a question on what you said. If somebody came in with experience, do they get credit for that experience in the salary scale or no?
They do not. They would start on step one, and then each year they would progress through each step, just like the teacher's salary. Yep. Like I said, if anybody wants a little historical background on it, I'll be more than happy to give it to you.
Can we do that now with names, though?
Just without names.
Sure.
I can tell you, previous to 2001, the hospital had a grant program, in which case we got X amount of hours per week free from the hospital. I believe it was probably 20 hours per week. And then we subcontracted for additional hours with that individual per week. Like we purchased around 350 additional hours. Then it changed, the hospital backed out and they were no longer able to do that. So we purchased additional hours for our training program.
Chris is answering them.
And it got to be where each year we were working with the individual on increasing the amount of hours, then it was increasing the hourly rate. So then it switched to we purchased or put this person as a full-time permanent substitute because they were able to substitute. And that got them X amount of dollars substituting, and then we paid for training services. Then the district did away with the permanent substitutes, and we just purchased service additional hours. One point, let me see here, we were up to probably 1,500 hours per year that we were paying for, as well as a few additional hours for the summer programs. And it was always going back and forth between the number of hours and the hourly rate. So then in 2010, that's when the board decided to put together an athletic training salary schedule and put this person on there full time. So previous to that, we did not have a full-time trainer.
In several
So I don't know if that helps or not, but that gives you a little background on how we got from getting free hours from the hospital to the hospital not doing it to us having a full-time trainer.
In some districts, for instance, Alton shares their trainer with the hospital as well. So that type of arrangement still exists in other districts as well.
To Eric's point and to Talon's point, so Jim, was 2010 the last time we looked at the actual payment on the schedule itself?
Well, since it is an actual salary schedule, since it was developed in 2010, as the district gave increases to the other groups on the base salary, those increases have all been applied to this salary schedule.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Yeah. Thank you, because I didn't realize it was, even though it was a different salary schedule, you're saying that those increases have still been happening.
absolutely. And the 4-year, 4.5% that the district approved for the other bargaining groups were also added to the salary schedule.
Applied there as well. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
And we found comparables as well, Dennis. We went out and looked in recent numbers right now for graduates.
Okay. Good
Is it
questions.
a 10-month position or a 12? Like, how do we handle summer with this?
Jim?
I'm not sure how the high school used them during the summer, to be honest
I
with
just
you.
talked,
Okay, I was just
I
curious.
just talked to John
So it's a
today.
9-month position, like it would be like a teacher. I know it's not a teacher category, but
I talked to the athletic director today, and he mentioned something about summer camps and that was additional. So I think I'll verify that though, for sure. But I know that John and Darren were very happy with the person that they're recommending as well too. I just wanted to make sure everybody knows that, because I just spoke with him about an hour ago, just to make sure.
What's the peak on that salary schedule? The bottom and the high?
We just, Jimmy, want to read something?
65,894 to 69,582, depending on education level.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is out of our control with TRS and everything, but is there any way to count years of experience in the future towards the scale, or because of TRS we can't? That's just something we can't do since they're classified.
They're not classified
We
though.
went out
No, they're not certified, so they're not on the TRS. They're IMRF.
Correct.
Right.
The board has the discretion. If they want to give people additional credit for years served in different positions, the board can do that. That is not a TRS matter.
So that is something we could look at in the future, at least at some point, maybe.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
If you're gonna do it for
Expensive.
certificated.
Great questions. Fantastic. Any other discussion?
Tom has a point.
If you're going to do it for certificated
Okay, I
personnel.
think, we've been talking here a while, I think we had a motion and a second.
Oh,
Am
wait
I
a
correct
minute,
about
wait,
that?
wait, Tom.
The motion
Tom,
was by
wait, wait.
Stacy and seconded by
Oh,
McMaster.
Tom has a point still.
If you're going to be doing it for certificated personnel, you're going to have to be sure though that you apply that policy consistently for any type of certificated
lost him.
person.
Yeah, we lost
We
it.
lost Tom.
Might be muted.
Are we
I
muted?
think it was muted.
We'll try
Stephanie,
again.
looks like Tom was muted there.
Well, no, he's right here. He's gonna come speak right into that. Yeah, we would have to apply it, as we
Yeah,
said.
no, you
Can you hear him now?
muted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can
we
you hear me
hear
now?
Go ahead.
I'm not muted.
Yeah, what I said is if you're going to consider giving extra years of service credit or years of service credit to a certificated person who holds a certificate, well then you're going to have to apply that consistently across the board to anybody that comes for employment with a certificate. So if you're going to do it, you're going to have to develop some programs as to how to apply it, because you have to apply it consistently.
Okay, but he's classified, right?
That's
I
different.
mean, the position is classified.
He's classified, but he has a certificate.
Yeah, but it's not a teaching certificate.
But it's not a teaching certificate. It's an athletic training certificate, and we have other people in this
Yes.
district that hold certificates.
Yep.
So you could be having people, parapros that have certificates, come in and say, "Oh, I've got 10 years of parapro experience at Edwardsville. I want to come in 10 years on the parapro salary."
Right.
So you can't pick and choose. If you're going to have a policy, you're going to have to articulate that policy clearly.
Yep.
So in a non-discriminatory type manner.
That's good to know.
I'm just not understanding. I guess the question is, did he have balk at the salary? He's willing to take the position, right?
No,
And we haven't
listen,
had
okay,
a
here.
rotating door
Now
of
we're
people
talking
leaving
about-
and
Bill,
coming. Why are we discussing special
Bill, now we're
raises
talking,
when
if we're going to talk
there's no
particular
reason in the world
individuals, we
even
need to
do
go
that? I
in.
don't quite get that.
Okay, well, if we have to talk about particular individuals, we'll have to take that into executive. There's fine now. The person they recommended, it wants the job, so we're good. We're just talking
Yeah.
about future, right, Zach? Future?
Yes.
Yeah, that was not something I wanted to resolve this second. It was just
I
kind
got
of
it.
an
I got it.
idea
That's
for
what
the
I
future,
thought.
possibly.
So yeah, I understand completely. Okay.
Yep. Plenty of time on that.
Yep.
Okay. I've got a motion and a second on this for the hiring of this individual, for the athletic trainer for the high school and Coolidge Junior High. Roll call, please, Zach.
Knogle,
Aye.
Curran,
Aye.
Nunn, I, McMasters,
Aye.
Stacy,
Aye.
Vinny,
Aye.
Wilmsmeyer.
Aye. And good discussion by all. I appreciate that input. Item number 5, brief discussion and potential vote on issuance of RFP for SM Wilson. Ms. Can?
Sure. This is about trying to get SM Wilson approved as a project management group for Phase 1, which includes the softball field fencing, lighting that we have for Phase 1. At this point, if we allow them to do that, then they would like to put out the RFQ for a design firm architect to begin that design process. At that point, we have more staff input and we begin including others in that. But you want to explain a little further, Tom?
Yeah, and as part of this, I requested that SM Wilson send us the documents for the construction management. These are A1A documents put out nationally. These are standard agreements. We are in the pre-construction phase. There is no money that SM Wilson would be entitled to at the pre-construction. This is basically their good faith effort to say, we want to come on board and help the school district do Phase 1, pre-construction, get your design groups together, get potential hard bids out there, construction bids to determine whether or not the board would consider it a viable project and could afford it. If it turns out a year from now, 6 months from now, after the bids are in, that we don't want to do it because of whatever fiscal reason, cost or whatever, then we don't have to move forward, and SM Wilson and the school district could part ways, and we would not owe anything to them. If the board would undertake it, well, then once we are into the construction phase, that's when SM Wilson would start getting paid.
We start to incur costs based on the construction.
Correct. So it really, this is just kind of a open the book and let's see what it's going to cost the district
Right.
to see if we want to move forward.
Right, and that's
So-
when we involve the.
So
Go ahead.
So my question is, like we said, at some point, if we move forward with this, SM Wilson would get paid.
When we start
Would they be
construction.
are they the construction company or?
They are,
Or
by
what are we
law,
paying them for?
by law, Eric, they would be the contract is for their construction management.
Right.
They are going to be out there on a daily basis, making sure that projects gets done according to what the board and the administration want done out there. As such, by law, they cannot have their own people working on it. It's a management service only.
It's very similar to the, what was Todd, is it Tom Worley, Dennis, who was the project
Yes.
oversight for the solar panels? So having somebody to make sure things are going right, maintaining it so we don't have to take in the bids, we don't have to go through them all, because we're not qualified to go through and make sure everything. So they're working on behalf of the district to make sure. So once they find a design firm or an architect, that's when we start getting some staff input onto, here's what this looks like when we talked about the baseball field, is there a sun angle? Is there a traffic issue? So at this point, once we get the design firm, then we start getting more district input as well.
Stephanie and I met with SM Wilson and their people, and we also included Eric Smith.
Yep.
The reason we included Eric to see whether or not we could do some of this in-house to soften the blow on the cost, the overall project cost.
Right. And that was kind of I guess that's where I was going with my question is I know Eric has a lot of construction expertise,
Yep.
stuff like that. So that's kind of where I was going with that.
Oh, right.
And then I guess another question is, we say at some point, I guess if we do the design, we get district input. That means we would put together a committee, kind of like the interview committee to help that, or?
SM Wilson, what their role in getting a design group, they would recommend certain architect, surveyors, and other people in that phase.
Right.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
then
we
would have-
Eric, we do have the Building and Grounds Committee. Bill and I sit
Right.
on that, so we have met with SM Wilson already. But yeah, to go through that selection process for the architect that'll be putting this together, we can talk about how that happens. Is for they'll probably be making a recommendation out of that.
Exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, we can talk about how that selection process occurs.
And I'll go through, I have a checklist for a selection process that they gave me that I'll share with all of you as well. They just gave us, so when we get to this point, we're ready to put it out. And when I was talking about input too, like athletic director, principal, anybody like coaches, so we can kind of see,
Right,
who's part of that. Mm-hmm.
That's what I was getting at is, I know like you said, you guys are on that committee. I'm a board member too, but I'm not going to tell you I know what to put out on the softball field. So that's why I was kind of getting at was
That's why SM Wilson's here.
People like you said, Stephanie, the athletic
Yeah.
director, people who are even the softball coach.
Right.
Maybe they are
Oh,
going to be.
definitely.
So
Yep.
okay, that answers my question.
I know it's kind of hard because it isn't until we get the design firm on board that we can actually start that input. And I made that,
Right.
I thought I made that clear to Darren, but I don't think I did, or to you guys. So that's why I sent the clarification today. And I apologize for not making that more easily
No
followed.
problem.
So, thanks.
I appreciate that. One clarification too, Tom Worley was with the roof, not the solar panels.
Sorry, roof.
Yeah, you got it right.
That's right. But the same idea, right? He's the one that would that oversaw the work, right?
The roof work.
Correct.
And then just one quick question too on compensation, Tom or Stephanie, on this group with SM Wilson. Is that based upon dollar amount associated with the project, or is there an hourly rate, or what's the compensation?
No, Dennis, I believe it's a percentage rate of the overall project cost.
Okay.
I think it's 4%.
Okay.
I think it's 4%.
4%. Okay, thank you.
And you did bring up the solar panels, right?
Oh yeah, we just found out today.
Just so you know, Coolidge is energized and developing power.
Hey, Bill.
Saving us money.
Just want to say.
And so, Bill, that's that. And Clean Energy Design Group has acknowledged there is a punch list that they have to comply with
In writing.
with on all the solar panel projects.
So we have a punch list with pictures ready for them. So
I think one of the nice things, I had a discussion with Stephanie earlier today, and because I see all the tremendous work that Eric's been doing around the district on building and grounds, we have this bold initiative here, I think, for our property, which looks amazing. But Stephanie is also working toward a similar bold initiative that's going to amp up our educational part of it. We don't want to appear, and we are not one-sided. We always know that the education part is important as the facilities we have. And so I think when we saw that Francis Howell disaster,
right.
The idea is we're not working one-sided. Our superintendent is very busy putting together a real initiative that's going to amp up a lot of different directions in our school district educationally to make improvements. So I think it's important as we share that with the public, phase 1, 2, or as we proceed, that this is phase 1 maybe of building and grounds, but this is also phase 1 of an educational improvement. And I want to commend her on that, because I think it's going to be far easier for the community to say, oh, well, they're not just spending all their money on grounds, but education every bit, if not more, it's way more important.
Oh.
And so I like that she has that balance in mind, and she'll be sharing that as a balanced approach. I think as a board, we have to commend her for that.
Well, I appreciate that, and I know that education has to be a part of this as well. So being able to do this, I know our athletic director expressed to me early on that softball field was something that was really important to get on one of his major priorities. So I kind of started with that, and then we can move towards some academic changes as far as maybe schools, but that'll be
So they can play
running at the
softball
same
and
time.
multiply.
That's right, at the same time.
It's a win-win.
Keeping score will be better.
We have a motion in a second on this one.
We don't have that yet.
Okay.
So I guess we need a motion, if that's okay, to approve SM Wilson as project manager to send out RFQs for design firms.
That's exactly what we need.
So moved.
Oh, who was the first one? It sounded like
I
Bill.
think Bill McMaster's moved. Eric, you want to second it?
Sure. Second.
Got a motion by Bill and a second by Eric. Any other
I
discussion?
appreciate you saying that Bill McMaster's made a motion, not that he moved. Quite agile here at home.
Funny.
You worked hard for that. So,
On that note,
on that note,
Zach, would you mind taking the roll, Zach?
Kern,
Aye.
Nunn, I, McMasters,
Aye.
Stacy,
Aye.
Vinny,
Aye.
Knogle,
Aye.
Wilmsmeyer.
Aye. And executive session was listed on the agenda. I don't know that we need that, do we?
There's no reason, Board President.
No reason for it. Okay. And then we'll take up the minutes from the last executive session. I'm presuming at the next regular meeting,
that is correct.
I believe.
That is correct.
Very good. Any other business to come before the board this evening?
No.
I don't think we can have any other business on a special meeting. Just saying. I'm just saying the rules.
I think
Yep.
we
No,
can.
and I appreciate it. Great conversation tonight.
I know, it was
appreciate
good.
everybody. Good
And
input,
thank you-
good questions.
And thank you for
Good discussion.
tolerating I'm glad, I hope if you didn't get a chance, read all the clarifications I sent. Jim sent a great one about the certification as well. It really helped, so.
Happy Christmas,
good.
everybody.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Merry Christmas to you all. Yep.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
I
Thank
do
you.
need
Motion
to-
for adjournment.
Move
Yep,
to
yep.
adjourn.
I did want to point
Second.
one thing out. It's not to this. It has really nothing to do with decision making here at the district. But I see Mr. Harris is on. He will be getting a new SRO at some point here because ours is leaving the department. So
Oh, we just did.
Going through that process.
yeah. So hopefully by the beginning of the year that'll be taken care of.
Okay. Appreciate you letting us know that. Thank you.
No problem.
I just found that out
Erica
as
made the
well.
motion to adjourn, so we just need a second.
Second?
Linda seconded.
All
Very
right.
good. Thank you so much. Merry
Happy
Christmas,
holidays,
everyone.
everybody.
All in favor, aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm not supposed to say that,
Thank
but
you.
okay.
All right.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Thank you, everyone.
Merry
Appreciate it.
Christmas. Bye.
Merry
Take care.
Christmas.